I hope everyone's ready to get into a prickly situation. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII-2.
Boo!
Let's not let him do these again. I think we should stick to doing them ourselves.
Yeah, I think no more guest intros.
So to rephrase in not terribleese, we're going to fight some cactuars in this video. I hope you guys like cactuars, because if you were the ones actually playing this game, you would get sick of them by the time you were done with this.
So the first thing we have to do is we have to change the weather a bit, because before we can go fight cactuars, we have to go activate these cactuar statues. And some of them only appear in very specific weather conditions. So not only do you have to know where they are, you also have to go find them.
And you have to know what weather conditions.
This seems kind of excessively convoluted.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XIII-2. What is it with cactuars and statues?
They look like statues.
Alright, so our eventual goal is to get over there into the marsh. But again, we can't cross this gap because we don't have a chocobo. But there is a way over, if you know where to look.
Also, there was a cactuar statue inside the cacti, and
Yeah, did you see it? Did you see it? Yeah, did you see what they did?
It's clever. Clever joke.
Anyway, if we go over here, tucked away in the corner, there is a golden golden cactuar statue, and if we activate that, we will get teleported over to the marsh. It is the only way across without a chocobo.
It's good they at least gave you a way over there.
A weird one, though. I mean, why could they have not just put a bridge? Why did it have to be this bullshit?
Well, they don't want you coming over here early because there are a lot of really good monsters, and this is a really, really good grinding area.
Well, it's not like Final Fantasy XIII-2 has ever shied away from giving you some bullshit reason you can't go somewhere or do something.
It's all par for the course of this game.
Yes, they could have had a literal broken bridge in a JRPG. Oh well. That would have been a little bit too on the nose, maybe. Maybe they're in denial about how formulaic it all is.
Someday I'm going to figure out what a unicorn horn does. I don't think I've ever actually bothered using one.
I think it's a party-wide total Isuna.
That's what it's usually in most games. It just gets rid of status effects.
Alright, so yeah, that was a bunch of Vladislaus back there. They're kind of dicks. They're not as bad as they were in 13, but nothing in this game is.
Well, you say they were in 13, wasn't there kind of like only one in 13? Admittedly, could be fought several times.
Yeah, we'll just let him go.
Seems wise. He looked imposing. Well, you know, as imposing as something in 13-2 can actually feel.
Alright, so before we fight... So this is one of our little cactuar statues we're looking for. There are two different kinds that are floating around the plains here. The red ones will teleport us back to the main camp. And you don't have to do these, but they give you a free fragment, and...
That basically means you have to do them.
Yeah. You have to do them eventually. Anyway, the ones we're really concerned with are the green ones. Which, and like, the one that you saw amongst all those cacti there, that was a green one. Those are the ones we're looking for.
I wonder what they do.
I don't know.
We really kind of fucked up the suspense on this one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That's okay.
There was never going to be any suspense.
Fair.
It seems kind of pointless to have a warp back to town, like, right outside it, but I guess, what do I know?
I guess it's probably just for lazy people who don't want to walk up the hill.
Climbing is hard.
I mean, Yeah, you're right, it's pretty difficult to rationalise.
That one's pretty close too.
No, that one's on the other side. That one's on the other side of the gorge. That's at least on the south side.
I guess it's kind of far.
Also, that one was next to a much more interesting looking cactuar statue. I like that there's a cactuar statue just like buried in the ground, and it's just kind of like there.
Oh, do you see him?
I see it.
There we go. Alright, so yeah, once you activate all the red statues, the cactars start spawning. Which is really not a big deal, because we are way over the level of these guys, but you know. This might have been important at some point.
These are just normal cactars.
Still try and catch one, I guess. What do cactars do for us?
Cactars are commandos. They are not especially interesting, but, you know, I mean, it's a cactar, and it does a decent job as a commando, so...
But I guess it's superseded by all of the awesome shit that we have.
Oh yeah, no, nothing we can capture right now would even come close to what we use.
Well, except for that one thing, but, you know. I don't know, it looks pretty suspicious.
Oh no, it's just a normal cactus in a group of cactuses. I don't see the problem.
Huh.
Oh, hello.
So yeah, there are 3 green statues scattered around, and they will summon a Gigantar for us to fight.
I do like the felt texture of it. It's amusing. I like it. I think it's cool.
So, as you could probably guess, he does 1,000 needles, and only 1,000 needles. It does exactly 1,000 points of damage.
Shocker.
And it still inflicts fog and pain, so you do want to get Veil up as soon as possible.
So, more or less the same as the one in 13, except a bit less of an asshole.
Significantly less of an asshole.
Fair. And I guess, by virtue of all that, not particularly interesting. Other than the fact that he now works for us.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Gigantar is actually a synergist.
What?
Yeah! And he's actually not a bad one either. Like, he has all of the offensive spells.
Huh.
I'd imagine if you were here earlier, they'd be a bit more of a challenge because of 1,000 needles.
As I recall, there is some kind of, like, very specific fuckery about Gigantors, such that you can only capture exactly one, ever.
No. The way it works is that you can get up to 3. Basically, the first time you activate each of these statues, you can catch a Gigantar from it. And it's a guaranteed drop. But, if you do that, even if you, like, close the gate and reset time, you can never get another one from that statue.
That's odd. I could have sworn that I only got one from doing all 3.
Right, well, you get one from the first one. But if you were to, like, get rid of that and you go to the second statue, you would get one from there, but that would be the only one you get from that statue.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought there was a thing that, like, you could only ever capture one, and if you don't have it captured, you can capture one, but if you do have one captured, then you will never be able to capture another. Oh well. I guess it's academic, because it only really affects somebody who would be dumb enough to infuse a Gigantor into something else without a very good reason. Alternatively, somebody who would want to not have a Gigantor in their party at all.
Do we really want to even consider the implications of such a thing, though?
Well, yeah, like I said, just academic. Nobody would actually do that.
Who doesn't want a giant, fuzzy, felt cactus statue?
Then again, there's just as much of a compelling case for saying nobody would ever want to get rid of a Flanator. But hey, I guess we all know how that turned out. Still bitter. So yeah, these fights are all identical, so we're skipping them.
Yeah.
Don't say I didn't warn you guys.
Right, well, fortunately, now that we've cleared out all of the Gigantars, if we come back over here, this gate is now open.
Cool. And hey, a bonus red chocobo in case we care. But we don't actually care, because we already got one of those.
Looks like we managed to
We
break
sure
this.
did, Noel.
I don't see why this breaks the seal. I mean, why is this one not keyed to an artifact like every other bullshit gate?
Anyway, the Vile Peaks is part of another side quest chain, but we still have more things to do on the step, so let's head back in.
I won't lie, I will take any excuse to not have to go back to Vile Peaks.
I've heard about what you've done. Here, take this chocobo.
So here's the thing, if you talk to this woman after clearing all this crap out, you get a chocobo.
Nice.
But it's not your chocobo. Even though she says it's your chocobo, it still takes a Gishel Green to ride it.
Well, I guess that's fair-ish. I mean, that's not really a very egregious thing for this game to do.
Must be convenient to have a weather control machine right next to an area with a monster that only comes out when it's raining.
Yeah. I guess it's also a pretty huge coincidence that this is the only area with monsters that are, like, only come out in a certain type of weather. I mean, like, that's hella fortunate, isn't it? If any of those monsters existed anywhere else, we'd be fucked. Also, wow, that was a bad transition, and this rain is kind of murdering the frame rate.
The rain always does for a second or two. It comes back pretty quick.
Oh, this had better be a good fight.
So we make our way back across the marshes, and hey look, it's our old friend the Ochu.
Oh, we have such happy memories.
Yeah, remember that time we just sat there and spammed death at it forever? Good times. Anyway, this fight is more or less identical. He will summon the Micro-Chews, and you basically can't stagger him. Or, I mean, you can, but his number is like 500%, and he has huge chain resistance, so...
So it's a matter of whittling, then.
Yup.
Oh well. It's still not that dull. Like, you can have a good fight in Final Fantasy XIII combat system without actually staggering, just because the number goes up, and it keeps going up. So it doesn't look like that bad, it's going at a reasonable rate. And it's only 444 to stagger it. Of course, you are also murdering it.
Right, and of course there's also the problem that he's got all those Micro-Chews around, and if you stop to focus on them, he will just he'll just summon more of them, and if you do that, you'll also lose your stagger on him, and then you'll have to start back over from zero.
Sounds like this is a good case for aerial attacks. Or, you know, Cerberus.
Yeah, Screech is still a really big pain in the ass. Does a lot of damage, and it will wipe your buffs. And if you notice when the little Micro-Chews go up to them and they plead, that actually gives them bravery, which makes them more dangerous.
Yeah. Like, are the Micro-Chews particularly difficult to murder? Or do they just require you to remember that they're there?
More of the latter than anything.
Well, that's not so bad then.
It would probably take one good focused attack from everybody to kill a Micro-Chew.
Oh, that's pretty reasonable, really. Can't really argue with that. It's like when it gets to bullshit levels where, you know, all of the random nooks are not only infinite and plentiful, but also really, really tough in and of their own right. That's a bit much, but this has some semblance of balance. It does not seem insane, it seems actually possible. Still hard enough that you have to work, but...
Yeah, so I got really lucky with that one, because both Sarah and Noel got dropped to the red from that screech.
Seems like it would have been a good time to break out the Hyper Rescue.
It probably would have been, yeah. But that requires me to remember that exists, so, you know, take that as you will.
How can you forget about Feral Links?
I never use them. Anyway, yep, wait for it. Yep.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna be like, you didn't, did you? Because I saw you in Combat Clinic for a good long while there.
So, yeah.
Now you just have to beat up the little ones.
Yep, just gotta clean up here.
It's funny, because it's possible in the 13 version of this fight for the little ones to murder you, or even after you finally get death to prop against the big guy. And it's just the most hateful thing. And it happens to you and you want to murder everyone. Good times. Good times. Also, you know, I say that, but these guys are putting up a fight.
Well, again, there was like 6 of them on the ground when I killed the Ochu, so
Not a 5-star.
oh no, not even close. But that doesn't matter. We don't care about 5-starring that fight. We want the fragment, which is worth 30 grand in CP.
Is 30 grand even very much at this point?
30 grand is an entire trip around the Crystarium.
Huh.